The Hunter and the Beast, the latest Lord pack for Total War Warhammer 2 has just been announced, and it offers you two rival legendary lords, the Hunstmarshal of the Empire, Markus Wulfhart, and the Spirit of the Jungle, Nakai the Wanderer. In this video, I'll go over the two legendary lords with you, as well as their new gameplay mechanics and new units. The free update for the Empire that releases alongside this is so extensive I'll cover it elsewhere, and though we know the albino lizard lord Gorrock will be the free LC lord, we don't know his details yet, so expect those soon. The trailer itself is a nice homage to the classic Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus chase scene, and does a great job of showing off the personalities of the two new lords on offer. The daring and charismatic Markus Wulfhart, Hunstmarshal of the Emperor Karl Franz, is the leader of a ruthless band of trackers, scouts, hunters, and sharpshooters, dispatched to the steaming jungles of Lustria to plant the flag of the Empire and loot the jungle for everything it's worth. As Wulfhart expands his territories, his stature in the eyes of the Emperor grows, and he receives increasingly advanced Imperial units to aid in his expedition and new building options to unlock. His objective in the Eye of the Vortex campaign is no less than the defeat of the Spirit of the Jungle itself, Nakai the Wanderer, who not surprisingly opposes Wulfhart's plundering ways. To help him on his quest, Wulfhart will track down and recruit 4 hunters scattered throughout Lustria: Jorik Grimm, a brilliant master engineer; Roderick L'Anguille, a once renowned paladin, now disgraced and exiled; Hertwig van Hal, a skilled physician and witch hunter on a quest for vengeance; and Kalara of Wydrioth, an elven waystalker. You can search for them in the game by completing special missions. Each will then have a bespoke story that's uncovered through unique missions. Completing these will then reward them with new traits and powerful abilities. Wulfhart's campaign progress is measured by how effectively he fulfills the Emperor's mandate. Expansion, successful military operations, and other campaign activities increase his acclaim, which is then tracked on the Emperor's mandate bar. This bar also dictates the quality of units available to Wulfhart via the Imperial Supplies system, which occasionally dispatches better units to fill your army. As the mandate bar fills, you'll unlock bonuses to improve these units and new recruitment buildings. Overall, it seems quite similar to the Roman expedition mechanic from the last Roman DLC from Total War Attila. But here, once you've filled the bar, Nakai the Wanderer will challenge you to a final battle destined to become the stuff of legend. To keep you from filling the bar too quickly, you're saddled with a hostility mechanic. Aggressive activities such as military actions and raiding raise the hostility mechanic through 5 levels, with each level giving a steeper negative effect on Wulfhart's campaign. Though as he ascends through the hostility levels, reinforcements are dispatched more frequently to you through the Imperial Supplies system. When you max out the hostility meter, a Lizardmen task force is dispatched with the aim of defeating Wulfhart, and will need to survive sustained assault for a number of turns before the hostility bar resets back to 0. So let's take a look at how you'll manage to actually fight the Scaly Boys. Markus Wulfhart himself is a ranged combatant with a powerful armor-piercing bow that deals bonus damage to large targets. Coupled with Vanguard deployment, Stalk, and a 360-degree fire arc, and immune to psychology, he has a well-deserved reputation as the ultimate monster hunting hero. In keeping with his reputation, it's harder to ambush Wulfhart, but it's easier to ambush others, and he gets a large upkeep reduction to huntsmen and archers in his army. He'll also field the new Huntsman General Lord in his army, which field the same bonuses, but just a bit toned down. Archers will be the backbone of Wulfhart's hunting parties, inexpensive, plentiful, quick to fire, and great at soaking enemy formations with long-range damage. Their loose formation enables them to trade fire with other ranged targets at a profit. Their Regiment of Renown version are the Deathjacks, which have Stalk and Vanguard deployment, enabling them to strike fast, strike first, and remain hidden from view. Huntsmen are the finest archers of the Empire. Well-drilled and versatile, they have Vanguard deployment and Stalk, can fire while moving, have a greater range than standard archers, and enjoy a good degree of accuracy and deal bonus damage to large targets. Their White Wolves Regiment of Renown are elite huntsmen whose bow skills match their ruthless melee capabilities, making them useful hybrids. War Wagons are mobile armored wagons packed with 6 men armed with armor-piercing Outrider rifles. Slow but very resilient, they can fire in all directions while moving, and in a pinch they can also be used as a chariot and charged into lighter or weakened enemies. And if that's not good enough for you, you can always put a mortar on your war wagon. These mobile artillery pieces carry less ammo than standard mortars, but make up for it by being able to stay one step ahead of melee combatants, quickly repositioning when threatened. Their renowned unit is the Black Lions, a Hellblaster volley gun mounted onto a war wagon, the ultimate unit in the expedition's armory. It's a devastating mobile light artillery piece, which, while its range is shorter than a standard Hellblaster, can reposition to avoid getting caught in the fight. But the jungle does not sleep. Nakai the Wanderer, revered Kroxigor of the first spawning, is a living legend among the lizardmen who wanders the jungle of Lustria since the destruction of his home of Talaxla during the Great Catastrophe, and now follows where the Great Plan wills him. The Spirit of the Jungle offers a unique variation on Horde gameplay, where any army in his faction parked in encampment stance can build up its infrastructure, pretty standard for a Horde. But the difference here is that only Nakai's personal Horde can unlock units for recruitment. Other Hordes just recruit units that Nakai has unlocked using the global recruitment option. These minor Hordes still have their own infrastructure and building trees, but they're mainly focused on reducing global recruitment times rather than unlocking units. Nakai also begins play with a vassal faction called the Defenders of the Great Plan. When Nakai's armies capture a region, you can gift it to the Defenders, and then you can choose which Old One god that region's temple should be dedicated to. As more temples are dedicated to a specific Old One, more powerful rewards are bestowed on Nakai and his faction. These temples also generate a unique resource called Old One's Favor, which Nakai spends to access blessed spawnings or to recruit lords with higher ranks. In the Eye of the Vortex campaign, Nakai fights to keep Lustria in the rightful hands of the Lizardmen, so you'll need to drive the Imperial colonies back into the ocean. 4 extremely dangerous hunters coordinate the efforts of the Warmbloods, and your goal is to hunt them down to draw out their leader, Wulfhart, then defeat them all in a final epic confrontation. To do this, you'll have access to new unique rights that increase Horde growth and recruitment. Nakai the Wanderer himself is a high armor, high health brawler, suited to extended melee, and he grants bonus melee defense and reduces the recruitment and upkeep of Kroxigors in his army. For unique units, he has Ancient Kroxigors, well-armored, hard-hitting, anti-infantry specialist, cast in the mold of Nakai himself and well-suited to extended melee. Feral Dread Saurians are even more brutal than Carnosaur. With breathtaking weapon damage and high armor, these towering walls of teeth and fury are versatile, elite, killing behemoths. But the Dread Saurian Howdah version are somewhat tamer than their feral cousins, and are ridden into battle by skink skirmishers and don't rampage, combining their terrifying melee power with 4 giant blowpipes and 8 skinks hurling poison javelins. Its renowned unit is the Shredder of Lustria, and has rank 9 stats, encourage, and a passive hex aura reducing nearby enemy leadership. It's a true one-unit army, and comes with a price tag to match. Sacred Kroxigors are versatile, hard-hitting, monstrous infantry and great all-rounders, and can plow through a greater variety of foes than standard Kroxigors. Their renowned variant is the Cohort of Wattle, a top-tier monstrous infantry unit that has additional armor sundering attacks and bonus physical resistance, so that they synergize well with skinks and Saurus warriors. And the final new unit is the Razordawn Hunting Pack, which fills the air with deadly volleys of armor-piercing spines, making them mobile, armored infantry hunters. Their renowned version even gets poison damage and extra missile resistance. The 2 lords offered in this DLC offer very different styles of gameplay, and the Hunstmarshal brings an old favorite faction from Warhammer 1 to the New World. The information in this video was drawn from the official press releases and blog, and is of course subject to change. And if you found it a bit dry, well, don't worry, I'll have my comedic news guides up for each lord soon. So, thanks for watching, and you can look for the Hunter and the Beast DLC to release on September 11th.